Okay, so you know the drill. It's that time of year again. You've got the fireworks, the resolutions, the whole New Year, New Me vibe everywhere. But while most of us are getting swept up in all that hype, have you ever noticed there's a group of people who seem completely unfazed? They just treat January 1st like it's any other Tuesday. So what's behind that? Let's dive into the psychology.
It's a really interesting question, right? What is it that makes some people just totally immune to that motivational pull of a new year? What's going on in their heads? We're going to unpack this not as some kind of flaw, but as a completely different and frankly fascinating psychological operating system. And let's be super clear right from the start. This isn't about being lazy or cynical or a party pooper. Nope. Psychological research actually suggests this indifference is rooted in a very functional and distinct way of thinking about time, change, and motivation.
To really get why some people opt out, we first have to understand why most of us opt in. So, what is it that makes New Year's so exciting for the majority of people? Well, it all comes down to a really powerful psychological phenomenon. Psychologists have this term for dates like January 1st, or birthdays, or even just the start of a new week. They call them mental landmarks. Think of them like chapter breaks in the story of your life. They create this clean psychological line in the sand, giving us permission to separate the old us from the new us we're hoping to become.
And that mental landmark, well, it creates what's known as the fresh start effect. This is the super powerful belief that a new time period literally creates a new self, giving us this genuine feeling of a clean slate. It's the magic that makes setting a resolution on January 1st feel so much more important than doing it on, April 23rd.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. It reveals a fundamental difference in how we see time itself. Many of us see time like a book, divided into neat chapters. But for others, time is much more like a continuous flowing river. And when you believe that any day can be a fresh start, a single date like January 1st just doesn't feel all that special anymore. So what's really behind this rumor view of time? Well, it turns out it's not just one thing. It's a combination of 5 core psychological traits that all work together. Let's break down exactly what they are. We're going to explore 5 key areas: where their motivation comes from, how they view change, their emotional independence, their long-term focus, and finally, their deep trust in systems over dates. First up, it all starts with motivation. A lot of us are externally motivated. We get a real boost from the social energy and all the rituals. But this other group, they're often internally motivated. Their drive comes from their own personal standards and a deep desire for consistency, not from a specific date on the calendar. And that leads to a much more realistic view of what it takes to change. People with this mindset just get how habits actually work. They know that lasting transformation comes from sustained effort, day after day. They understand that a single date on a calendar has zero real power to just magically erase old patterns. This brings us to emotional regulation. These individuals just don't feel obligated to be excited and celebratory just because society says they should. For them, celebration is a choice. It's optional, not some compulsory social duty. Now, this emotional independence can sometimes be mistaken for being cold, but it's actually a form of real mental strength. Fourth is a long-term mindset. Think about it. When you're measuring your progress in months and years, not just days, the importance of January 1st kind of fades into the background, right? It's the overall direction, the trajectory that matters, not a single starting line. For them, every single day holds the same weight and the same potential. So when you put all of these pieces together, what do you really get? Well, it's not a rejection of celebrating, and it's definitely not a rejection of self-improvement. It is, quite simply, a different mental operating system for navigating life and personal growth. So here's the essential difference, the bottom line. For this psychological profile, progress isn't built on a firework burst of inspiration. It's built on a system, a reliable, consistent process that's practiced day in and day out. Ultimately, they trust the system, not the symbolic moment. So if you've been nodding along through this explainer, if this all felt really accurate to you, maybe consider this. Maybe you're not missing out on the New Year spirit. Maybe your mind is simply wired for a different, more continuous and sustainable path to progress. And honestly, that's a pretty powerful thought to start any day of the year with.